Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Mission Maker's Vlog. Today I'm going to be talking about intention versus perception. It's an important part of mission making, especially when you're trying to create scenarios. You really have to balance the amount of scripted events you can do versus the amount of freedom you give the player. Obviously, you can't have scripted events without taking away freedom, because predictability is part of what makes scripted events possible. So, in some cases, certain situations may call for or may even make it impossible to give the players much freedom. I'm going to be talking about two particular examples today. In one situation where it was a critical mission failure that was impossible to scavenge from, another one that was able to keep going due to some of the players still being alive. The first situation was a simple ambush on the island of Isla de Walla. It was intended to be an ambush from behind, involving no vehicles, using a satchel charge to blow the bridge, as well as firing javelins from behind the armored vehicles. Unfortunately, the leadership in charge of the infantry on that mission thought it would be a better idea to take vehicles and be on the other side of the bridge in front of the convoy. As you may guess, this obviously got them spotted more quickly, and they were obliterated by the front lead vehicle that was supposed to be taken out by the collapsing bridge. In this type of situation, it's obviously a bit more of a gray area. It's hard to explain why exactly you want someone to take a certain position, why you want them to set a satchel charge in a certain spot, and so on. But at the end of the day, giving them multiple options in the first place allows them to feel like they have more control. Giving them only one option is most likely going to be a mistake. You want to give them as much freedom as possible while still being able to do whatever cool thing you had planned for that mission. It's not always easy deciding, but sometimes you do have to give them multiple choices in the first place, even if one of them is obviously the better one. But the more power you do give the players, the more likely they are to not stray far from what you intended. But nonetheless, I'm going to talk about the other example, which was an HVT mission in which they were supposed to stealthily take assault boats and assault from the coast. They decided instead they would move from where the boats were and go up the beach, even though they had been informed there were beach patrols. In this situation, it was a bit more scavengeable based on the fact that even though they were spotted far before, engaged about 3 patrols, and were even firing so close to the enemy base that there were tracers flying over the enemy base, I had to punish them accordingly. I had to bring up repercussions involving the HVT getting in a helicopter and leaving, and then them getting assaulted on multiple sides by quick reaction forces. But due to some of them being alive, I was still able to manage some kind of survival mission, even though the mission itself was hopeless at that point. As far as I know, they still had an interesting, memorable experience and were able to learn important lessons from that mission as a whole. And, it's not always about mission accomplished. Sometimes mission accomplished isn't a possibility. And being able to scavenge, a mission by creating more scenarios and, a situation where they can still play, I feel like is critical to a mission maker. Unfortunately, during the ambush mission, they all died immediately since they were all next to vehicles and were spotted by one tank in the front. It was definitely more of a lesson learned than a let's have a fun experience even though we've lost situation. But at the end of the day, I feel like mission makers should intend on giving them multiple paths to an end, but while at the same time they should be knowledgeable of alternatives, and to definitely warn them of why certain alternatives would be bad. And if they decide to take those alternatives still, then it's probably not going to end well for them. repercussions will always have to, it's just because Mission Maker is doing the mission live and able to adjust things on the fly doesn't mean they should always make it easy. Difficulty allows them to have a sense of accomplishment once they beat it. If they know that it's impossible for them to lose, then they wouldn't be worried about a whole lot, would they? So, in the situation where someone plans on doing something that you didn't intend, it'd be best to ask them what's up, ask them why they're doing it, or how it's going so far, and then probably inform them an alternative, either a way out. Playing as command and having communications with that infantry is very important, especially in a situation where they don't do what you expected, and then you need to find out what they're doing or why they're doing it. It just helps keeps the mission going. So, thank you for listening. This is the first episode. I know I uploaded a sort of pilot just to explain what it was and why I was doing it, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the little mission-making conversation. Probably give you a little bit more insight on planning, pre-planning, and what's going through at least my mind as a mission maker. I know that I don't speak for all mission makers out there. Everyone has their own style. It's the same as any sort of either drawing. Everyone has their own drawing style or music style. But at the end of the day, I think it's important topics to be discussed. So thank you for watching. Catch you later next time.